Hello, I'm Russ Jaimes, and when I really don't like it, I started this company 8 years ago, and it really bothers me when people call my company a cram school. Because when you traditionally think of cram schools, you think of something like this. It's desks, people studying, looking up, facing at the teacher lecturing for an hour, then taking notes, or more than likely falling asleep in class. This is not how we do it. We do it a slightly different way. Most cram schools focus on TOEFL, TOEIC, and passing university exams. That's really not the purpose of my company. The purpose of my company is to... So that's really not the purpose of my company. The purpose of my company is to push our teachers to be more than just English teachers. Because the reality is, when it comes to English, you don't need me. There are lots of great books out there. There are lots of resources. You can use YouTube. You can make friends. You can find a boyfriend, find a girlfriend. You don't need me for English. You need me and our teachers for other stuff. You need me for correction. You need me to be a culture ambassador, to teach you about my culture, to teach you about how to use English in different situations. The reality is, you don't need me for English. And the whole process with cram schools really fails at the beginning. It fails during the assessment. Because the assessment is you come in, you sit in front of a computer, and you click your answers, and that gives you your language level. But that's really not what we need. What we need is a face-to-face assessment with someone like me, because you can cheat on a test, but you can't cheat face-to-face talking to me. At the same time, when you're in class, you're not looking to pass the test, or you're not even looking to have a 90-minute conversation with a foreigner. So the challenge here is, how do you have a structured classroom, but still have the freelance communication? And the communicative approach, or using CLT, really helps with that. During my assessment with students, what I do is I find out 3 things. Your interest, so I know how to make class more fun and engaging for you. I need to know your language level, so I know how hard or how easy to make the class. And I need to know your job function. What are you going to use this language for? So I make sure that at the end of class, you retain the knowledge because you're going to apply it immediately in your work or in your daily life. And this allows me to create a student-centered learning approach, where everything in class is geared towards the student. We create a lesson plan, which looks a lot like this. This is one class that I had in Kaohsiung called Kaohsiung Happy, because they're a very happy group. And if you notice, each circle, each dot is an objective that they need to make. It's not a grammatical point, it's not grammar. It doesn't even follow traditional grammar standards or grammar patterns. What I do is I give them an objective. And at the end of class, the objective is, can you complete this? Right? As a student, the challenge is, can I do this? As a teacher, the challenge is, can my students do this? So I've succeeded teaching this class if my students are able to do this objective that I gave them. In the green, I have different rounds, a challenge round. Challenge allows me to really test and reassess the student. A traditional book or a traditional TOEFL, TOEIC class will have a structure, but it won't allow change in the classroom. For us, we're able to do that. For example, if you get a driver's license, I'm able to substitute a class and they're teaching you how to drive in the United States. Driving in Taiwan, driving in the US is completely different. If you get married, let's do a class on keeping your wife happy, right? Or you quit your job, let's do a class on job interviews. We have thousands of classes that we can just mix and jumble at any time, which allows us to create a custom book for each individual person. The custom book, again, is the exact same like our thoughts. It's created different things. As you can see, we have a custom book for 7-Eleven, teaching you how to shop and the services applied at 7-Eleven. Your school experiences, university locations. We tailor it to each individual student. Because what you're learning and what you're learning and what you're learning, your field is completely different. And this is what Madeline meant about having a purpose. What is the purpose? What is your experience? Because each of us has completely different purposes for the use of our language. The other thing is, back on this purpose, is What are you going to use this language for? Is it for school, for work, for travel? Sometimes it's a combination of both. This is a class I had with senior management in a company. They were going on a business trip to Barcelona, right? They're all adequate English speakers. They can have a great conversation, they can present, they can have conference calls, all of this stuff. But being in Barcelona, I knew for a fact that they're going to have to hug and kiss their colleagues, because that's something that happens there. Here we are practicing that, making sure there's variety in their language. It isn't just, can I pass the test, but can I do a variety of different objectives. When riding the MRT, or when you meet a foreigner, and he asks you, how are you? Does he say, hey, how are you? A, good. B, fine, thank you. C, okay. D, none of the above? No, right? Foreigners don't do that. They just say, how are you? And you have to answer. And everyone answers me, fine, thank you, and you. I instantly end the conversation. This conversation is going to be very boring for me, because you sound like an English book. You sound like every other person. For the past 11 years in Taiwan, everyone has said, hi, how are you? My name is, fine, thank you, and you. Where are you from? How long have you been in Taiwan? Oh, really? Same boring conversation. I have it a million times a day. I don't want that conversation anymore. You need to be able to produce language in a variety of formats. So now I'm going to talk about my Chinese. 我的中文是真的不好，真的是不好。但是我可以吃夜市，我可以买东西，我可以吃东西，我可以交朋友，我可以聊天跟我的工作，我可以做很多， but 很多我不能做。I can maintain communication in what I need. If I go to the hospital, can I have that conversation? No, I bring someone to help me, because that's not my everyday use of the language. My everyday use of the language is something I can do. Finally, I want to end with power, because this is really the goal of my company. It starts with professional. Can we keep language learning in a professional manner? Can we cover all aspects? Open-minded. Can we be open-minded about English? Because the traditional way of learning is not always the case. Previously, in previous generations, they start studying English in junior high school, right? But now they can't do many things in English, because if I meet them, they have trouble maintaining a conversation with me. They may get high TOEIC scores, but they can't do it. Just one more minute. They can get high TOEIC scores, but they can't maintain a conversation with me. The newer generation now, they start studying English even lower, in elementary school. What has happened? Well, the results are that we fell out of the top 10 countries in Asia that can speak English. We're 11th now. We're behind Hong Kong, Indonesia, Vietnam, Japan, China. Why? With power, we can get into this top 10 and we can go higher. Because I want Taiwan to compete on the global stage. I want us to be professional with our language. I want us to be open-minded, understanding of other ways to learn, not just the traditional way. I want us to have a W, winning attitude, to be able to compete on this global stage and win, not just, oh, hi, how's okay, or be in this comfortable, safe zone. I want us to be enthusiastic about learning, right? Not just going there because they say it's good for my language. Have a purpose behind it, and are resourceful. If we have a ton of time and a ton of money, obviously we're going to learn English, but we don't. We can't all travel to the US and live there for 10 years to improve our language. Right? We have to be resourceful for what we have here in Taiwan. That includes foreigners, teachers, YouTube books, everything to succeed and compete on the global stage. All right, thank you.